It is the 5th week of Lent, and the word of the week this week is journey, so we're out and about exploring our theme for this week's Extra-ordinary. Okay, so we're on a bit of a journey around the beautiful site where we live, up in Derbyshire, and the idea of going on a journey is a really important thing because it's a central theme of Lent. When we look at the scriptures, we actually think about Jesus' journey into the desert. Interesting fact, of course, this didn't happen just before he was arrested, even though liturgically that's when we kind of think about it in Lent. It happened just before he actually started his ministry. So before he went on to do all of the kind of preaching and miracles called the disciples, he went into the desert and went on a bit of a journey. What we know happened on that journey was that he was tempted, that he fasted, and a lot of those principles then find their way into Lent, which is really cool. Now this week, if you have a look at your extraordinary sheet, which I've taken out and about with me today, you will see that we've got first 3 days, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, just those days of Lent. So again, opportunities for prayer, fasting and almsgiving, like we talked about before. But when we hit Thursday, Friday and Saturday, we've got some interesting people to talk about with very interesting stories. Now on Thursday, we commemorate Saint Stanislaus. Now Saint Stanislaus is the patron saint of Poland, amongst others, and he was one of the first kind of Polish bishops, kind of native Polish bishops. Now obviously we've had some very famous Polish figures in the Catholic Church, not to mention St. John Paul II, of course, but in our diocese particularly, we've got some really active and vibrant Polish communities, and so this is a really great shout out for them, for the amazing work they do, for the life they bring to our school communities. So enjoy Thursday and in celebrating. On Friday we celebrate St. Guthlac. Great name. St. Guthlac was a hermit who had his own kind of battles with his personal demons. And he's kind of a reminder that actually all of us have our own kind of struggles and cross to bear, I suppose. A bit like in Lent, we think about those struggles and things that we need to kind of sort out in our lives, and we remind ourselves that Jesus, of course, will always help carry those burdens for us. St. Guthlac, he had his problems, like most of the saints did, but he dealt with them by relying on God and having faith in God. So it's a good message for us. And then finally, on Saturday, we've got St. Martin I, who was a pope and a martyr. And again, whenever we hear that word martyr, we're reminded that's someone who gave their life for their faith. Now during Lent we're called to give our life for our faith, but in a different way, by living it in a certain way, by living for other people, by doing things for charity, by fasting, by praying, and doing those things that Lent reminds us are important. It gets us closer to who we are as human beings and ultimately closer to God, and that is what Lent is about. So this week in your comments box, have a look and think about what you're doing for Lent this week, what you're celebrating, who you're celebrating, why you're celebrating, and let us know, because Lent is that time for self-reflection. It's that time to go on a bit of a journey, as I've done today, and maybe you might want to do this week, and it's a time ultimately to end up on that journey, walking alongside and getting closer to God. Have a fantastic week, and we look forward very soon to the end of Lent and the start of the Easter season. See you soon.